So, how often do you feel like a fraud in your own life?
Oh, wow. Just coming right out with it, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, whether you're prepping for a high-stakes meeting or just trying to navigate everyday life.
Right. You just get that creeping sensation.
Exactly. That feeling where someone is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, you know, we figured you out.
You have no idea what you're doing.
Right. And since you, the listener, follow this topic, you probably already know the mechanics of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, you know it targets high achievers.
But our mission for today's deep dive is um, it's to move past those definitions. We want to look at a highly unconventional toolkit for actually dismantling it.
And it is very unconventional.
It really is. We are unpacking Bradley W. Deacon's book, Overcoming Imposter Syndrome with a FIGJAM Mindset.
Which is such a great title.
It is. And we have a stack of sources here that blend like psychological concepts with some truly hilarious personal anecdotes.
And career guides, tech tips, all of it. Deacon approaches this from the trenches of a really high-pressure career.
Yeah, not a clinical study.
Exactly. So to understand his methodology, we kind of have to start with that core concept.
Right, the FIGJAM mindset.
Yeah, which is definitely not a clinical term. You won't find it in the DSM-5.
I certainly haven't seen it in any textbooks.
Yeah.
So break down that acronym for us. What exactly is FIGJAM?
Okay, so it actually comes from an Australian locker room mentality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a cheeky acronym that stands for F, I'm good, just ask me.
Wow. Okay, I love that.
Right. Deacon used to play on this mixed netball team called the FIGJAMs.
Were they any good?
By all accounts, absolutely terrible.
Of course.
But they played with this infectious, unshakable confidence. So the whole point is that FIGJAM isn't about genuine arrogance.
Right, it's not delusion.
No, it's a deliberate, lighthearted mental nudge. It's a tool to disrupt that paralysis of self-doubt.
So when that internal voice tells you your success is a fluke.
Or that you don't belong in the room.
Yeah, FIGJAM is the counter-narrative you force into your brain so you can step out of your comfort zone. That makes me curious about his background, though. Like, what kind of professional rooms has he actually been in?
Oh, his resume is incredibly intimidating. It's so eclectic.
What's he done?
Well, he's a former lawyer, a federal agent, and he was an inaugural member of the Australian Federal Police Computer Crime Unit.
Wait, really? The Cybercrime Unit?
Yeah. In fact, he helped secure Australia's maiden hacking jail sentence.
That is massive.
And currently, he's a university lecturer. But here's the kicker. Despite operating in these crazy high-stakes environments...
Where the margin for error is practically zero.
Right. He still openly admits that he constantly wrestles with imposter syndrome. He calls it an unsolicited guest.
An unsolicited guest. I like that. So even a federal cybercrime expert who makes national history still questions his own competence.
Which just proves that racking up accolades doesn't cure the syndrome.
No, it doesn't. And Deacon points out that it crashes the brain parties of all kinds of high flyers.
Yeah, perfectionists, men, women.
Right, he notes how different groups experience it. Like, women often credit luck for their success.
While men might credit innate talent.
Exactly. Even kids in competitive environments face it. So, how did he initially develop this coping mechanism?
Well, it started out of pure necessity when he was young. He was raised by his grandma from the age of 4, spent time in Catholic seminaries.
Wow. Okay.
And he realized really early on that he had to manufacture his own confidence.
So what did he do?
He joined Toastmasters at 16.
At 16. That's intense for a teenager.
It was his survival mechanism. And it really paid off when he was sent to Walkersville, Maryland as an exchange student.
Oh, right. The sources say he felt like a kangaroo thrown into a rodeo.
That's the exact quote. He was totally out of his element. But he used those public speaking skills to project this outward calm.
Faking it, basically.
Exactly. And later at university, he noticed this stark contrast between himself and a classmate. He calls her Nervous Nellie.
Nervous Nellie.
Yeah, she was chronically paralyzed by presentation anxiety. And he realized he didn't actually know more about the subject than she did.
He had just mastered the art of the bluff.
Precisely.
Okay, but where is the line there?
What do you mean?
Like, the line between a lighthearted mental nudge and just being a total fraud? Faking a uni presentation is one thing, but the real world is different.
Oh, for sure. And that is the critical tension in his philosophy. But there's this hilarious story from 1988 that perfectly illustrates it.
Okay, lay it on me.
So it's 1988. The movie Cocktail with Tom Cruise is huge.
Oh, peak Tom Cruise swagger.
Yes. And Deacon somehow lands a job behind a busy cocktail bar.
Does he know how to make drinks?
0 mixology skills. Nothing. He's just back there flipping bottles, working the crowd, faking his way through basic drink orders.
That is a disaster waiting to happen.
And it did. Customers started ordering these complex, exotic cocktails, and his charade totally collapsed.
The manager must have fired him on the spot.
You would think so, but surprisingly, no. The manager had apparently bluffed his own way into a lucrative position in the Bahamas years prior.
No way.
Yeah, so he recognized the raw utility of Deacon's confidence. Instead of firing him, he mentored him.
Okay, so what's the expert insight there? What's the so what of that story?
The insight is that faking it isn't about malicious deceit. It's a tool for skill development. It's a temporary bridge between where your skills are and where they need to be.
It gets you into the room where the learning actually happens.
Exactly. But, and this is crucial, Deacon has a golden rule.
I was hoping he had boundaries for this.
Oh, he's very strict about it. You never, ever fake it when lives are at stake.
Or when legal requirements are clear, right?
Right. You don't bluff your way into surgery or flying a commercial plane.
Yeah, please don't do that.
FIGJAM is for navigating social friction, leadership challenges. You have to be transparent about your actual credentials.
Take calculated risks where there's a net beneath you. So you bluff your interpersonal confidence, not your core technical competence.
Nailed it.
That actually transitions perfectly into another big concept from the sources. Deacon says that in any career, you have to be your own secret ingredient.
Like McDonald's Big Mac sauce.
Right, or Colonel Sanders spices. But how do you actually do that? How do you operationalize an attitude?
Well, he did it by building a whole business around an attitude of unflappable competence.
A can-do company.
Yes, it was an apartment caretaking service. And at first, the service was super basic, essentially just taking out the trash.
But because he projected this polished, problem-solving image...
Clients started trusting him with more complex stuff.
Like what?
Walking dogs, restocking refrigerators for international jet setters.
Wow, from trash to jet setters.
It eventually escalated to coordinating high-end cocktail events at the Westin Hotel.
So the product wasn't really the dog walking or the event planning.
No, the product was the reliable image of competence. That was his secret sauce.
Okay, taking that to trash is low stakes. But let's look at the bigger picture. The sources talk about this massive project he did in a rural fruit farming town.
Oh, this is maybe the best example of the FIGJAM mindset in action. He was hired to teach social media skills to unemployed locals in this really isolated, economically depressed area.
And they were not thrilled to be there.
Not at all. They sat at the back of the room, playing Flappy Bird on their phones. They saw zero value in it.
So what do you do? I mean, the standard response is just read the syllabus, take the government check, and leave.
Right, but FIGJAM says you elevate the experience. So he set up this dynamic 2-week program. He got these budget tablets and took them on field trips.
Real-world application.
Yeah, they audited the digital footprints of local businesses in town. And the final project wasn't a test.
It was a presentation, right?
Yeah, an event at a local eatery where these formerly disengaged students presented their strategies to the actual business owners.
He turned it into a Michelin star experience.
A high-stakes consulting simulation.
That's incredible. But then the roadblock hit.
A massive roadblock. They were supposed to expand to 65 locations, and then the government just completely slashed the funding.
Everything stopped.
Overnight.
So when life gives you lemons, how does the mindset survive that? Because imposter syndrome would say, this failed because of you.
Right. But this is where perseverance kicks in. Deacon had already set up this physical training facility he called the Google Factory.
A DIY Google Factory.
Yeah. And instead of wallowing, he immediately pivoted. He rented out the fully equipped facility to other corporate trainers.
When life gives you lemons, you rent out the lemon squeezer.
Exactly. It's about cognitive flexibility. If one path is blocked, you look at your residual assets and repurpose them.
But that takes immense mental resilience.
Yeah.
How does he actually maintain that? The sources talk about taming the thought tornado.
Yes, the thought tornado, that chronic overthinking.
We all know it. So what's his overthinker's guide look like?
He is a huge advocate for journaling, specifically the Day One Journal app, or even the new Apple Journal apps.
Right. Doesn't he use his Apple Watch for it too?
Yeah, he uses the dictation feature to capture those 2 a.m. eureka moments before they disappear.
Which is great, but what's the actual psychological benefit of this mental gym?
It clears the cobwebs. When you're in a thought tornado, your working memory is overloaded. Your amygdala is firing stress signals.
So writing it down externalizes it.
It forces your brain to process it logically. You start spotting repeat triggers. He likens it to having a coffee chat with yourself minus the caffeine jitters.
That naturally leads into accountability. And I love the Broadway stagehand analogy he uses here.
Oh, it's so good.
The stagehand's job is to keep the spotlight where the reality of the scene is happening.
Right. If the spotlight wanders, the light actor is just standing in the dark.
So how does that apply to the listener's professional life?
Well, Deacon says professionals constantly try to shift the spotlight away from their errors to protect their ego.
Give me an example.
Okay, say you spill red wine on a white carpet at a networking event.
A nightmare.
If you lack accountability, you blame the carpet or the glass, or you act like a sommelier discussing the undertones of the wine to distract everyone.
Just rambling to avoid the blame.
Exactly. But true accountability is just owning the spill, apologizing, and cleaning it up.
Because shifting the spotlight means you never learn from the mistake.
And it makes you look fragile.
Speaking of avoiding mistakes, we have to talk about his views on time management and procrastination.
He connects accountability directly to procrastination, using a cake analogy.
Right. If you add a dash of dilly-dallying to your life's recipe,
Your cake falls flat.
he grounds this in a really poignant memory from his policing days, doesn't he?
He does. He was doing surveillance in a stationary car in South Yarra
Just sitting there.
for hours in complete stasis. And he's watching runners train, mothers walking with kids, people just living their finite lives.
While he was stuck.
Yeah. It made him realize that time is the ultimate non-renewable resource. You can rebuild a business, but you can't buy back an hour.
So the takeaway for you listening is just do it. Execute an imperfect plan today, rather than indefinitely delaying a perfect plan.
Absolutely.
Okay, but we have to execute in the modern digital landscape, which brings us to digital diplomacy and navigating what he calls hashtag effinmoments.
Oh, the effin' moments. Those highly frustrating emotional hiccups online.
We've all been there.
The digital landscape is unforgiving. Emotional reactivity online is a great way to destroy your professional image.
So what's the strategy?
He leans on his grandmother's rule: strictly avoid engaging in debates about politics and religion online.
And just to be clear to the listener, we are remaining totally impartial here. We're not endorsing any political views. We are just reporting Deacon's advice from the source material.
Exactly. The point he's making is that engaging in polarizing online conflicts offers zero professional ROI.
Because it's like quicksand.
The more you struggle and argue, the deeper your credibility sinks.
And digital footprints are like tattoos. They're permanent.
Yeah.
So if the goal is to project confidence without getting dragged into the mud, we have to talk about Denny Crane.
From Boston Legal. Such a brilliant pop culture reference.
Right. Deacon says you want to channel your inner Denny Crane. He's this character who walks into a room radiating this almost gravitational self-belief.
The ultimate rainmaker confidence.
But Deacon draws a hard line here, too.
He does. You want Denny's boardroom confidence, but absolutely not his moral compass.
Right, because unchecked confidence without empathy becomes a problem.
Yeah, it metastasizes into narcissistic personality disorder, what Deacon calls the me, myself, and I syndrome.
How do you spot that in the workplace?
It's the grandiosity parade. It's the people who steal the spotlight and treat teamwork like a new brand of detergent they don't want to use.
Yeah, they suffer from an empathy drought.
Exactly. Healthy FIGJAM confidence means advocating for yourself, but having the humility to share the victories.
Because at the end of the day, perception is reality.
Always.
Deacon uses that glittery unicorn sweater analogy to explain this.
Yes. You might wear a glittery unicorn sweater thinking it's quirky avant-garde fashion.
But your grandma sees it and thinks, oh, what a lovely Christmas win.
Right. You don't own the final interpretation of your actions.
But you can control the consistency and clarity of what you broadcast. By doing that, you build what he calls your invisible crown.
And eventually, people respond to that crown, and your imposter syndrome starves from lack of evidence.
Wow. We have covered so much ground today. From an Aussie netball team to journaling to a stationary police car, all the way to Denny Crane.
It's a lot to process.
If we synthesize all these sources, what's the ultimate takeaway?
The main takeaway is that you can't cure self-doubt. It's a feature, not a bug. Overcoming it means combining the FIGJAM mindset with deep humility.
Learning backward while living forward.
Exactly. Like sneaking a peek in a game of hide-and-seek so you don't end up in the dark basement, but then fully seizing the day. Carpe diem.
I love that.
Yeah.
So to you, the listener, here's your challenge for today. Look at where you're waiting for permission to feel competent.
Stop waiting.
Whether you're hiring a life coach, trying to become a thought leader who occasionally burns their toast in deep thought, or just dealing with your own effing moments.
Yeah.
Put on that invisible crown today. Apply that FIGJAM mindset.
And as you do that, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over long after this deep dive ends.
Lay it on us.
If perception truly is reality, and you start actively bluffing with a FIGJAM mindset today, at what exact moment does the pretending disappear and the confident, unstoppable version of you simply become the truth?